Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Are you a lefty or a righty? I'm a righty. Okay, so tonight's Conservation Commission will now start. Just so you know, it is being recorded, so if there's anyone here that shouldn't be here, you know, a couple or anything, I'm doing something. I'm doing something lighthearted. Let's do some roll call for attendance.
Bob Sweet.
Suka Halen, Vice Chair, I'm chairing tonight. Charles in Oklahoma.
Leah Whiting.
Mike Amandale.
And
Carl Hummel, remote from Omaha.
all right,
Isabella Genova, agent.
great. So we're going to do good and welfare for the public. If anybody has any comments or whatnot for the Conservation Commission, they won't be discussed or deliberated upon, but just so we can take note of things. If anyone's here or online, just let us know.
I have an email with Carl, I don't know who he is, about joining and being, hi Carl. About joining, I guess that's at the end. So he had said to come.
Yeah, okay, great.
Use this.
Okay. All right, so now so nobody else online or anything, I don't see Kirby. Let's see, for good and welfare, okay, great. So we'll go to the first item on the agenda, which is a notice of intent for 112 Uxbridge Road, DEP 218-0866. Applicant James Quirk Family Realty Trust. Representative Karen Keegan, Allen Engineering Associates. For construction of an armored slope using large boulders for slope stabilization within 100 feet of a bordering vegetated wetland. Application submitted in response to an enforcement order issued by the Conservation Commission on May 12, 2025. And the address is 7 Park? Okay, yes, 7 Park Street. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Good evening, Mark Allen with Allen Engineering. Karen Keegan's not in attendance anymore. She is now a full-time resident of North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
So she has moved on. So she did great work for us and we'll miss her. But I'm taking over the project. And this is a project that was started a couple months back. If you recall, an enforcement order was brought to the Quirks for the boulders and stones that they had received, took delivery of on the old 1955 Route 16 layout. Since we last met, or at least since we last had a site visit, we have gotten our DEP file number. That was one of the hangups that was still outstanding. We got some comments from DEP, which I'm more than happy to go through tonight with you, as they are fairly brief and I think easy to get through. And we have issued a response letter to endangered species, the natural heritage folks up in Westboro, earlier today, and I kind of want to just kind of go through sort of the changes that have occurred from the last time we spoke till today. I'm just going to go grab the folder so that I can hand you copies of the correspondence that went out today, so you have them. These went out via email today to Natural Heritage.
Oh, it's number 1. Oh, it's 4 on here. Yeah. Interesting. Number 4. Oh, this is number 5. Yeah.
Hard copy for you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I can put it in there.
So, the comments that sort of came through from Natural Heritage and Endangered Species folks sort of mirror what DEP's comments were. So I'll kind of go through the response letter that we sent today that also CC'd the DEP writers also on the project. The first item that Natural Heritage asked was for some photographs representative of the area that's within their zone. So, attached to the letter, we took about 4 pictures of the small area. It's less than 5,000 square feet. You'll see 4 photos of the area that has been worked over the years, probably the last 5 to 10 years, as they took down that hill and sort of spread it out to even out the path. So the area that is within the endangered species limit is on the last attachment. I sort of highlighted in clouded red. So that clouded red area is a small portion of the area that's sort of under this notice of intent before the commission tonight. And again, it encompasses the old roadbed, paved roadbed for Route 16 from 1955, and the earthwork that has been done to sort of flatten out the hill over the last 5 to 10 years. So what we're basically requesting of them is to understand that this is sort of, it was an enforcement order action that prompted this notice of intent, and that forthcoming notices of intent will be more than happy to sort of address any studies that they may want. So we're going to wait back to hear from them. Jesse Leck passed it on to Tom from his office, and we're sort of waiting for his answers to that suggestion. Number 2 on the letter basically states that we're hoping that we don't have to do the turtle report until such time that we have a final end user for the game. The Quirks have been, we've had this property marketed for the last couple of years. They haven't had any bites, a gas station, a convenience store, a municipal use was thrown out there. So there isn't really an end user. And as we know today, what we're trying to do is just stabilize the slope because the rocks were delivered.
They did end up by getting rocks?
Come again?
More rocks than?
No, since the
Okay,
last
so-
site visit, no. I went by today and verified the erosion control was still in place, verified nothing else has happened, and nothing since our last site visit. Their comment number 3 is about site phasing, and in similar fashion to response number 2, it's just that, we're not trying to hide anything, we're not phasing anything. This was an enforcement order, an action taken by the commission to say what's going on. So I'm hoping that they understand that this is temporary, this is something we're going to stabilize the slope, and then any forthcoming projects, whether it be on 112 or 7 Park Street, will be fully vetted by this commission and the state agencies as well. So to that end, I'll kind of go through the DEP comments and the revised plan that's before you tonight. DEP comments had very similar items. They asked about whether or not, why category 1B was selected for the fees. Again, it's due to the fact that this was an enforcement order. There's really no proposed building, structure, parking, drainage study. So, we just figured this was work associated, earthwork, not associated with the house. So that's why we chose category 1B. They do mention in their second paragraph that it's on multiple properties, and it should be noted, it is shown on 2 different properties. I sort of highlighted the 112 parcel. That's what we consider the upper parcel. 112 Uxbridge Road is next to the Pinto project that's under construction now. The foundation is in. And then in blue is the 7 Park Street parcel, both owned by James Quirk, but the work that we're looking to do is strictly on 112, highlighted in red. What we're looking to do is, lift the enforcement order and get this order conditions through so that the stones that have been placed in yellow get moved up to the area hatched in red. And that's all we're looking to do. Previously, the last plan, we tried to show a 1-to-1 armored slope. We've since taken that detail off. It just doesn't make sense. I think it's confused the whole botch. And I'll blame myself. In trying to save a step for the applicant, I thought maybe we could, work together to get a slope for future years, but I think it's just confused everybody out there. So today, we're asking that we just take the stones that are there and put them on the slopes that's there. And then if for some reason some design change happens in the future, whether it be the upper area or the lower area, we'll make that design change and have it changed. But the natural slope, not natural, but the slope that's there today is nowhere steeper than 2-to-1 slope. So these stones are gonna stay on that 2-to-1 slope.
2-to-1 slope's 48 feet and 24 feet high.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So as long as you're at least 48 feet back.
Correct. And you can go 24 feet high.
Yep.
Is that the height difference from the top
Yeah,
of the?
Exactly.
24 feet?
It's about 40. Yeah, it's about 48 by 24, yeah, in the worst case scenario. The project, they asked about stormwater management exemption. Again, it's just because they don't understand that this was an enforcement order, just to see what's going on with the stones. We fully, expect the stormwater standards to be met upon whatever new applications come before the commission. Right now, there's no building, there's no parking, there's no drainage, it's just put the rocks up the hill. And then they referenced the endangered species letter from June 27th of 2025. Asked that they do an endangered species habitat study. Again, we've asked them to at least hold off on this notice of intent and hopefully do it with any forthcoming notices of intent for the possible development. Seeing that the area, the one small area has been previously altered in a 2-to-1 slope. So that's the two items that we had since we last spoke. I gave a set of design plans, a revised plan that took off all the grading, and what we did is we noted that the existing slope to be stabilized with the boulders that are on site, and that any additional stone that may be required, if these stones are insufficient to cover the slope, that they be brought in from the above parcel.
Question. Can you just, with your finger, show how you're gonna put the stones, where they're gonna go?
So the stones in yellow are going to be put in the area of red.
Okay,
So they're going to bring in, machinery, whether it be bobcats or excavators, start from here and start stacking the stones and start slowly moving their way down until they get to the end of the run.
okay.
And then if they run out of stones, they're going to bring them in from the top.
Okay, I'm just trying to see where that figure meets with that figure on each map. The MESA figure there.
Oh, okay, so the MESA figure, absolutely. In red, this sort of red crosshatch, I put the MESA zone, so
Okay.
the only one small area is this little 4,000 square foot area in the corner.
And so where the machinery will be coming in is not going to intersect that at all until the very end?
Until the very end, correct. Yep.
Okay, thanks, that was helpful.
Mark, I have a question. Are
Sure.
they, where the dirt comes right to the edge of the old Route 16?
Yep.
Are they gonna dig in so that they can put the stones, or are they gonna just place them on the old Route 16?
They're gonna dig them down about 18 inches, so that
Not
they,
down, in.
yes, off the edge
So
of the
they're gonna cut
pavement.
into that bank a little bit?
Absolutely,
And
yes.
then that'll change the slope of the
Correct.
bank?
It'll still be the 2-to-1 slope, because as they put those big rocks at the bottom, then they're just gonna stack the rocks on top of that and follow the existing
Right,
grade.
but usually you have a slope designed before you put your rocks in, don't you?
Yeah, if it's a 1-to-1 slope, Bob, it's what they call an armored slope, and that needs a geotechnical and or structural engineered wall. A 2-to-1 slope doesn't, because that's 2 feet vertical to one, two horizontal to 1 vertical. So those slopes, even without stone, are gonna hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I was just, me personally, I was looking at it is if you dig in, put a 3-foot stone there, you dig in to hold that 3-foot stone, keep it away from the road, then at that point, you're right in line with the dirt that is going up the slope.
Sure. Yeah, so the base stones are not gonna be dug into the slope, I guess, I think that's your question now.
Correct.
Yep, so they will be, this is the 2-to-1 slope. There we go. And this is the 2-to-1 slope. They'll put a base rock down here, not in here.
Right, and that's what I was saying, so it pushes it further into Route 16 at that point, the
Well,
old
this-
Route 16.
Yeah, there's still a few feet off the shoulder of
Okay.
the existing pavement that we can put that base rock there.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get the procedure,
Sure.
that's all.
Madam Chairman? A question, kind of follow, because I'm Peter Governor. The last time I had asked a question about, because the plan with a steep slope said required an new plan, and I just heard your answer. I guess my question before was, what is the break between needing an engineer versus not? And you say 2-to-1 is not, but 1-to-1 is.
Correct.
So what's between 2-to-1 and a 1.5-to-1?
That needs a stamp, that needs a structural stamp.
So anything less than.
Less than 2-to-1 is considered an armored slope.
and it doesn't matter the materials, the size of the rocks, because what is the degree of, you're saying, the degree of any rock, a dirt pile is not stable at 2 to 1, right? What is the angle of repose of?
A 1 to 1 is 45 degrees.
I understand. What's the angle of repose of a pile of
2 to 1 is about 30
stone-
degrees.
Stone pebbles. Sand, I know is like this.
Yeah.
Is there any difference between trap rock or 3x4s? I'm not familiar, Mike, with the, but I'm.
If you get, of course, there's a little difference. If you got smooth rocks, there's more chance of a slip. But you have rough edges, they tend to lock into them.
Right, so it would seem that a great deal of care needs to be in the placement. And it's almost like you need big rocks and shim, fill in with little ones, and that's hard to do on a machine. A machine's got to place the big ones, and it's probably safety things. You don't have a helper underneath putting in little, so I'm not sure how it's done, but the example was given previous of the Millbury shops, which is a beautiful structure. And I
Yeah,
understand. So I go by that and say, no, that's not just rocks.
No,
And
that is an armored slope.
so, does anything have to go in? So I need to get educated.
Absolutely. So that is a 1-to-1 riprap armored slope. And that was designed by geotechnical and structural engineers. And in fact, we've been contracted over the years to go survey that the location and the elevation does not slide. So, yeah. When it gets to 2-to-1, you could put loam and seed on it and cut grass on it. It's not enjoyable, but you can cut grass on it. So that's the difference in design criteria. It's 2-to-1 to 1-to-1, from a 30-degree angle to a 45-degree angle.
Okay, we usually ask for 3 to 1, that's probably more for the having pity on the guy who has to mow the lawn.
Yeah, 3-to-1s are generally sort of the off slopes for septic systems, for shoulders of roads, that type of scenario. Highways are usually 4-to-1 slopes. If you go down 495 and see a grassy slope, that's usually a 4-to-1 slope.
So I gather the owner didn't really know what he wanted to do with it. It's a prime commercial spot and he wants to maximize, but it seems to me he's changed the grade and it's all grading right to the street, and he's changed the runoff coefficient just by what he's done. So I know he didn't plan, but you have to do a certain amount of planning, and that we required him to do X, Y, and Z. His work required him to do it. He didn't get the permit.
Absolutely.
Up front.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking tonight to take that slope in its worst case at 2-to-1, and then it feathers out to 3-to-1 as it gets closer to Pinto's property, and just put these boulders on there. And then over the next however many days, months, weeks, years, when they find a final end user, whether it be a municipal use, a commercial use, an industrial use, similar to Pinto's next door, and if they need to get anywhere close to that slope and want to stiffen the slope up, they'll need further investigation and design work.
So Madam Chair, I guess through you, how is that site going to sit until that happens? Is it going to be covered in grass and loam? Is it going to be, because there's a lot of water that's going to be hidden that now compacted.
They're putting stones on them. So,
On the back slope, I'm worried about the runoff coming onto Route 16. Because
well,
we're dealing with that.
we're dealing with the slope, not the runoff up on Route 16.
I'm concerned.
We're dealing with, that's a different issue. We're dealing with putting stones on that slope. So that's what we sent a notice out to him for, because he was dumping stones in there. So let's concentrate on the slope.
Yeah, the stormwater would be part of whoever takes control of the land after. That was what
Right.
your
Yeah,
intent was.
absolutely.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So I'm looking at the contours, in the box. There's no legend that I can see, so
For which,
the really tight ones, and I
Oh,
guess it would be
here.
the pink, or, because my version on the computer is colored in, so.
The contours are 2 feet intervals.
2-foot intervals, yeah, you got
Yep.
it up on the screen there.
Okay, thank you. I just couldn't, there's nothing in there. The electronic copy was a little. Okay. Anyone online have any questions, comments?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more. Is there gonna be any, I know that there's riprap, on the opposite side of Route 16, I mean, silt fence.
On the other side of Route 16, or on the, down here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
old Route 16.
Yep, yep.
Is that what is there gonna be anything else added? Or is that gonna be there so that any runoff that, as you're putting the rocks in, there's gonna be dirt, there's gonna be some washout, and I'm sure it's gonna fill in the rocks, but some may wash across as well.
Yeah, so after our initial submittal, the courts went out and actually re-established the old erosion control, and then added erosion control out to the gate. And that was part of our initial application. So those are in place, they're functioning well, they're not, dilapidated, they're up to speed, and they will remain there until all these rocks get placed on the slope.
Yeah. Yeah, in the NOI, or one of your reports, you said that you placed two wetland flags, and there was other ones already in place?
Oh, that might have been with George's Surf and Turf next door. There was a series of wetland flags done with George's that sort of go north to south on this location. That was a previous NOI that we had for George's maybe, and then we continued the flags across the entire.
So you did all the flags?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we did George's and then we did this.
okay, that was just what I was, because it looked like there was some work done there in the past that maybe.
Yeah, so I think George's was probably 2 years ago when we did his design. So when Margaret Bacon went out, we asked her to refresh the flags that were done then and then continue them around the whole property.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to read Isabel, would you like to read the staff comments, or is that something I should do?
My comments kind of just elaborated off of DEP's comments.
Right.
That, the category 1B fee, site work without a house. And then the suggestion that the more appropriate fee might be the site preparation for development not including the site work. Or, I don't know what exactly it says. But,
That makes sense. It can't be used for residential things, so it's gonna be a commercial use for development.
It's like a little tiny sliver, but that's in the wetland. Yeah. Okay, any more questions for anybody? Want to make a motion?
I will. I move to continue the public hearing for 112 Oxbridge Road to August 14th. Sorry, there's no DEP number in this part of it.
there is,
There is the.
the DEP
No.
number's out, we just don't have the NISA comments.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so we'll need those as well for final rule.
Yeah, definitely.
Any seconds?
I'll second that. Discussion purposes at least.
Why are we
Discussions?
continuing it?
Lisa comes.
Misa, for the main part, Misa comments?
Speak up, I can't hear because it was fun.
Misa comments? Aren't any
Endangered
yet?
species.
We're still waiting for comments from them?
We got comments, we replied today to say, hopefully they can forego their comments for future work.
All right.
Roll call vote? Oh, from, to move to continue?
Bob, aye.
Sue, aye.
Leon Whiting, aye.
Coffin, aye.
Mandela, nay.
Carl Hummel, aye.
All right, the motion passes. So we'll see you next time with the other comments and whatnot. And
All right. If I could ask the commission, I think I'm on like 11th for,
on what?
for a certificate of compliance. Is there any way we can sneak up from 11 to 2?
Not my department, but it is? Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a question. I'm happy to hang on the back, but it's just a quick COC request.
Is there anyone else waiting here for?
We have the first public hearing, but
It shouldn't take that long, right? We should be able to
Yeah.
take it.
That's fine. I guess.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Elvis is in the room?
All right,
so
so
on site,
13A
That's
a
B.
silent, okay, a silent street.
That's B.
We submitted a request for certificate of compliance.
13B.
13B. And we had a sidewalk earlier this week. The wetlands appear to be, the replicated wetlands appear to be doing pretty well. And we're looking to see what the commission wants to do for a COC on the property.
Isabella, can I ask you a couple of questions real quick? If the replication looks okay right now, besides the spice bushes, if we close out the COC, and I do have some concerns with some of the sloping and stuff like that.
Can you speak up a little bit, please?
The replication looks okay right now. If we close out the COC, and the same thing with the slopes drainage and stuff like that, do we still have recourse to go back and check that and make sure it gets fixed or is addressed? Make sure the plantings are still
So the
maintained.
order has 2 years of monitoring, which would be fall 2025 and fall 2026. You issue the COC and don't get it, you have to issue an enforcement order later on. So that would be your recourse if you issue the COC. You could issue a partial and then they would get the COC in the end, or you could reject the request and say you want to wait for those two monitoring.
What are your thoughts?
So this, what's the partial? Does that let them get what they need and still gives us a hammer, so if we need to enforce something without having to go the enforcement order route? Sounds like it might be a
Then you
compromise.
hold the certificate. Yeah, I mean, it's up to kind of the commission on what they want.
So the homeowners have occupancy, they're living in the house now. So we just thought it would be nice and clean to do it and not have to wait another year.
To clean it up and get it off
You don't have to worry about enforcement orders. It appears as if the vegetation, the wetland replication area was really well taken, if at least 80%. You know, I'm not a botanist by any means, but it sounded like on the sidewalk, things looked pretty good.
Well, except for some concern for steep slopes along the driveway.
That
and into the
concerns
yard.
me more than the replication, actually.
That was gonna be my next one, is that bar slope, is pretty steep, there are some soils.
Remember when we went to the sidewalk, how they used to,
Washouts.
Is that that site? with the
Washout accumulated at the silt fence line, so I don't know what taking out the silt fence would look like, if it can get immediately seeded, I don't know what it would take.
that's gonna be a hard slope to see, because it kinda goes all the way down.
So was this, I was on the walk with you, is this where behind the driveway or
Down, no, like the.
where we picked that final?
Yeah,
has to
it's
be-
not weed out.
Yeah,
I don't know what, look, take, it's not exactly my expertise on what. I just don't wanna see it wash out further because the silt fence gets taken
Sure,
out if it's too
sure.
soon.
That's
And I
definitely,
think it's
So what sort of
difficult.
slope was that?
it's like
I
a
was at the site a long
1.5.
time.
yeah,
It's
so it was an area where they put jute mesh down, they put erosion control, they put silt fence, and then they put jute mesh down, erosion control, then a silt fence.
Yeah, that's a sign that that's a problem site.
That's a pretty significant slope then, huh?
Yeah.
2 sets of silt fence, sounds
Yeah.
like it's 18, 20 feet in length,
No, not that far,
no?
no. I don't know if you have any photographs, but,
Yeah, sorry.
Can you armor it with something or put some that won't move so much or
I think some of this question is valid, whether or not with the COC, I don't know what Mendon does, but do you require that all the erosion control gets pulled before you give a COC? What's
it's kind of new to us. Often we left it
Well,
there, but we got
no.
a new policy in place. Right?
it's not the right kind of wattle lead down. It's got plastic netting, so.
So if it's plastic, it should be taken out. Right?
Mark,
The
is-
ones since I've started, we've had the silt fence taken out, unless it's.
Silt fence definitely, but wattles, some people don't like plastic.
There's definitely gonna be erosion there if you take, I mean, there's gonna be erosion,
Otherwise, you want to leave it there.
but then if you take those, it's gonna be worse.
Right.
Yeah, it's a steep slope.
Here's a question. If a partial COC
Yeah.
was to be offered.
Yep.
They can fill in the rails with seed and
Sure,
and mix. and-
absolutely.
And then that way
Revisit
there,
it,
the silt
absolutely.
fence can stay in and,
Yeah, but you're
it'll
leaving
put everybody's
plastic.
mind at ease.
And this winter, after we see some green on the slopes, we could give a full.
It's bad.
So,
This
Makes sense.
They would submit the second request for review afterwards, but yes.
Once some
this
grass is
is-
taken in that area,
right, because it sounds like grass is already establishing. It's just you have some runoff areas that are a problem.
Bob, not
No?
really.
No? Then,
Crabgrass,
it's crabgrass.
which doesn't hold this back, because it's gone once the
So,
winter is
if-
there.
I mean, I'll make a motion that we offer a partial COC and revisit it in 6 months and see if more vegetation has been taken, has a better take on it.
Well, just for discussion purposes, because if I saw that, and if I know I gotta take the stuff out, do it sooner than later and get to where you wanna go and give a chance something to grow as opposed to, I don't know.
I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
offering.
Yeah.
Get it out
Partial, so
now
we
and
can't
try to
take
get that.
the silt
The
fence
fall's
out
the
yet,
best time
but
to plant seed.
it moves it forward a little
Yeah.
bit.
I think you're gonna have to plant more than grass, though. You're gonna have to plant things at roots. Because anything is gonna get washed there.
Crabgrass has tough roots.
No, it doesn't.
Are you
Once it
offering
dies.
suggestions on what you want?
No, no.
I
was just
mean,
thinking, Tom.
I would
Perennials,
think-
I think.
I almost think that you probably need, and like, this is your area of expertise,
I was just
with
going by
rocks
reading.
out there to keep things
But our-
moving.
Would laying
Oh, the
straw
soil.
be enough for its, I don't know.
Or get some natural mesh, the tube.
Mm.
Take out the plastic and then put in one tube that you can leave there, right?
Oh, in the rail, you mean?
Take its place, in its place.
Mike, do you have any thoughts?
A compost.
See, I haven't
yeah.
seen the site since.
No,
It was
I mean,
really, it was
there's
really only
grass
this
there.
portion that I was most concerned about. I think everything else can come
Yeah, it's
out.
only about a 25 or 30 foot, maybe the length of these two tables wide. So we'd be pleased as punch if the partial said, okay, the wetland replication area is A-okay, but please come back to us in 6 months.
Well, I'd like to see the replication after another season, at least.
Yeah, it still leaves it open.
Yeah.
80% is bare minimum.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you're right on that threshold of, will it take or won't it?
yeah.
So, I mean,
It's about 80 now. We'll have to see what Mother Nature has in store
Yeah,
for us. and see
So I
what
guess I'll
happens.
make a motion for a partial that,
It's already
Yeah,
been
they,
made.
Bill,
then I'll second it.
Bob already said it. Oh,
So-
goodness.
I just think there needs to be a plan for what to do there, something more substantial than grass.
Motion's been made and seconded, so,
take a roll call.
yep, roll call. Abstain.
Bye-bye.
Susan, I.
I'm gonna abstain. I'm sorry.
all right.
Cough and I.
Mike, Amendolia, aye.
Carl Hummel, aye.
Oh, got one. Hi.
Great, thank
I
you
guess
very
so.
much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right, so that was a partial. All right, excellent. Notice we have a notice of intent for 37 Kinsley Lane. DEP to be determined.
No, we got it actually in
Oh, we did.
868.
Okay. Applicant John Carney.
I think he's on.
Oh, John Carney, are you online?
No, maybe not.
This is a co-applicant, Jeannie Cologne, co-owner.
JC.
This is the one that was already opened. So now we have the DEP, we were waiting on the DEP number before, so now we have
No,
it.
she said she got
You're
it.
all set.
I mean,
We're all
before,
set.
but before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You think we're good?
You have that DEP number?
868.
Can we
Keep
take,
on your phone.
can we just move, or do we need to talk about this?
I think, we had lots of discussion last time, so.
Okay. I move to close the public hearing for 37 Kinsley Lane, DEP number 218-0868.
I'll second. Moved and seconded, so, roll call.
Bye-bye.
Susan, I.
Leah, I.
Coughlin, aye.
Mike Amendolia, aye.
Carl?
Carl Hummel, aye.
Thank you. And it passes.
Unanimous.
All right.
You need a second motion to issue the order.
I make a second motion to issue the order of conditions for 37 Kinsley Lane, DEP number 218-0868.
I'll second. Roll call vote.
Bob, aye.
Susan, I.
Leah, I.
Coughlin, aye.
Mike Amendolia, aye.
And that passes as well.
Wait a minute, you didn't ask Carl.
Oh, Carl. Carl.
Sorry, didn't take it off. Yep, I'm voting aye as well.
All right, thank you. And that one passes as well.
So I'll have the permit out next week, and I'll contact Eugene about that.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Now should be the lane bill,
Yes.
number 6.
Tearing all this paperwork is like. All right, so next up is notice of intent. Lake Nipmuc Pond, Taft Avenue, DEP 218-0867. Applicant is the town of Mendon, Isabella Genova representing. Representative Colin Goslin, Water and Wetland, is he here?
No, they're not
Online?
coming. They're not coming.
Oh, they're not?
But we should be all set to close, because we were waiting on the number.
Well, that'll make Dan happy.
Just reading over the comments, do we have anything to say for, I feel like there was, when I was reading the notes, there was somebody who had some.
DEP's comment was that native aquatic vegetation is important to wildlife habitat. Higher value wildlife habitat is achieved when there's at least 30% coverage of native aquatic plants. DEP recommends managed treatment rather than eradication in areas dominated by native species.
Okay, so they just want us to get rid of the milfoil so the stuff grows back. Okay, gotcha.
Milfoil and the purple stripe.
Yeah,
Madam
well,
Chair,
is that in there, the purple loose right there?
Yes.
Staff comments, resident 72 Kinsley call
That's what I
asking for
was talking
updates of lily pads. Worry of glyphosate use, is that what we're proposing to treat for lilies? Or is
I don't
this
think we're
just,
taking out lily pads.
something that somebody else is doing?
Glyphosate is one of the chemicals listed as an alternate. It's not the one they use primarily.
The company that we're hiring to go after the others.
Yeah. Lily pads,
Are we asking the company to do lily pads?
they are going to do 72 Kinsley towards the outlet a little bit. And they typically do some crates for her, but not much. And then I don't think they're doing lily pads anywhere else.
Okay. So they might use the glyphosate if their other
Glyphosate.
stuff doesn't work so well. Or what drives their choice of,
Well, they listed a lot of chemicals, so they might be able to.
I
use
think they
something else,
permit everything.
Just in case they need it.
in my understanding, Roundup is probably one of the least inoffensive ones, but that, I just asked, that's fine, I'm ready to make a motion, but I don't know.
Then you do so.
All right, I guess, sure, I move to close the public hearing for Lake Nipmuc, DEP 218-0867.
I second it.
Roll call vote, moving seconded.
Bob, aye. I second. Well, aye.
Aye, everybody, everyone's summer, you know, it's like everyone's like heat wave here. Susan, I.
Leah, I.
Coughlin, aye.
Mike Amendolia, aye.
All right,
Carl
it passed.
Hummel, aye.
And then I guess I'll move to issue an order of conditions for Lake Nipmuc, DEP 218-0867.
I second.
Roll call vote.
Bob, aye.
Susan, I.
Leah, I.
Coughlin, aye.
Mike Amendolia, aye.
Carl Hummel, aye.
And that passes unanimously as well.
And do we think that can be done soon, or is this scheduled?
So the They have to get their state herbicide license, which they can apply for tomorrow, once I get the permit out.
They
And
don't
then the appeal period is 10 days, so they shouldn't do work until that.
And then they will do the posting, or we responsible for posting?
It's a lower cost, I do it. So I'll go out and put the posting up sometime next week or following, but the date we schedule.
If you need help, let me know, I'll go with you.
I have to do the pond sampling anyways, so I'll do it at the same time.
Okay, if you need help, give me a buzz.
So that closes our public meeting portion
Public hearings.
of hearings. Public hearings. Let's get this jargon down. So next up,
Item agenda number 7.
agenda item 7. Interview candidates for 2 commission openings. Peter? Yeah, you have to go sit in the audience. So.
I can stay in the room?
Yeah. So, yes, Peter would like to re-enroll or re-serve. And then we have 3 candidates today for 2 commission openings. One is for Tim Hardy, who is not coming back, and Peter is seeking reappointment. So, would anybody like to?
I think they should just introduce themselves.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Tell
as
us
well.
about them.
Yes, that's what I was gonna do. So, of the 3, who would like to go first for?
Jessica, are you here?
I'm here.
Would you like to come up and speak?
Sure.
Yeah,
Where would you like me to go?
Right there.
that's good.
Sure.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm Jessica Jenna. I live at 22 Asylum Street in Mendon. I have lived here since 2017. 2017? Oh, wow. 2018? 2017, I'm pretty sure. And I am a middle school 8th grade science teacher in Mansfield now. My background is in biology, environmental science, and marine science, coastal and marine science. Is there anything more specific you want me to answer?
About why are you interested in being in the board, basically, the first one, and whatnot, and,
Sure, I mean, I'm interested in being in the board because this is like what I love to do.
Yeah.
I've gone to school for this kind of thing. I worked in an environmental consulting company for a while, and I specialized in aquatic invasive plant ID. So I did a few years of just water sampling and all that, and I got out of it for a little while. Had a couple kids, but certainly the town that I live in, I would love to be able to give back, and this is sort of one of my talents. So that's why I'm really interested in.
Do you have any construction background? Do you know soils and whatnot?
No, I do not.
Grading of any kind or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, but it would be nice to have somebody on the board that has some experience with marine and the pond, and, you know, that's one of our areas where we kind of, I know you're on the board there, but.
No, I understand. It's soil samples and
Yeah.
stuff like that that are important too,
Yeah.
because you're short of hiring a consultant every time, having somebody that has soil analysis or you know, soil background is nice
True.
as well.
I
Yeah.
feel like those are always contentious though.
do you have any experience in geology, hydrogeology, hydrology, you know, the mechanisms of how it occurs and how it works and what affects all those issues?
I have some basic understanding, but I'm by no means a specialist. So
Yeah. Okay.
that's what you're asking.
Well, not necessarily a specialist, but, you know, general knowledge, you know, say, for example, you know, you're gonna go and chop down a bunch of willow trees or whatnot, or pine trees that are next to a stream, how it could affect the hydrogeology, so hydrology of the stream, stuff like that. And how vegetation in ponds eventually leads to succession, but, you know, not anytime soon, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, basic mechanisms of, you know, physics and whatnot, and how, you know, if you're stabilizing slopes and whatnot, this and that. I guess that pertains to construction.
The other question is time. If you're a school teacher, most of our site walks are during the week, during the day.
Yep.
So time is a concern as well.
Okay. When do you usually, is it during like, I mean, I get out at roughly like 2 p.m. So I still have some afternoon time potentially.
Yeah, we should switch around our walks.
No, right now, it's usually right around 10 o'clock
Okay.
in the morning, but and it's not written in stone, so,
Yeah.
you know,
Something to
it's what
discuss.
is,
It's once in a while that we have a
Advantageous for all.
sidewalk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
like once a week, every once in a
Yeah,
while.
I mean,
a lot of
I-
times I'm home, sometimes I'm not, so it's like in the morning. But
Many commissioners at the moment are retired or from home, so we've been scheduling typically Wednesday or Thursday mornings.
Okay.
But I can schedule site visits in the evening or Saturdays if that's what's needed.
I'm
Especially
fine
for
with
a
that.
complex site or something where you need more commissioners present, that could be.
When there is an open application, commissioners can go when they want to.
Yeah.
They just, sometimes it's nice to meet the consultant on site.
Right.
And go from there all
Exactly.
together.
So I think what she's saying is if you weren't able to go on the sidewalk that we all went on, you could go on your own.
Yeah, of course,
And
yeah,
look at it.
if that
Yeah.
was what was needed.
Well,
of
with permission from
course.
property owner.
Right.
Carl, do you have any questions?
Yes, have you had any you're a school teacher, have you had any experience working on any municipal boards or committees?
I have not, this would be the first, for me. I actually worked for a while in, fundraising, for a company, so I actually very familiar with the board process and sort of how meetings and all of that kind of runs. So, I used to take minutes and do all that kind of thing. So I've been present for many board meetings, just not part of the actual board.
Okay. And the time commitment, we meet twice, our current schedule, which is likely to continue when we reorganize with our new members. We meet the second and fourth Thursdays of every evening. We start at 7 and sometimes we go until 10 o'clock. But usually we're done by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Are there any questions from the audience?
Am I allowed to ask a question there, Bob?
Oh, sorry about that, Mike.
No, you're not.
All right, you guys.
Thank you for wanting to
You're welcome.
volunteer your time. Says here you lived in Mendon for 8 years.
Yep.
Where'd you live before Mendon?
I lived in Mansfield actually for 3 or 4 years, and then North Grafton, and I grew up in Sterling.
Sterling, Mass.
And I lived for a portion of time out in Amherst, where I went to school.
Are you married with children?
I am,
How many children do you have?
2.
2? How old are they? If you don't mind me asking.
No, they are 6 and 2.
Beautiful. Again, as our chairman that's in out vacation stated that it can be time consuming,
Right.
you know, but if you're willing to give the commitment, then it can be fun and enjoyable and rewarding.
There is something else I would say to you and the other potential new members. There is a nonprofit called the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissions. They offer very comprehensive training, and there's going to be a training cycle starting up in the fall that you can attend remotely via Zoom and Teams session. We would encourage any of the new members to be attending that class and go through their fundamentals. That would give you a background on a lot of the discussions that you heard earlier this evening. What is a notice of intent? What is an order of condition? What do you do on a site walk? How do you prepare for a site walk? Those are all covered in the different training classes. We have a training budget, and so we would encourage you to invest in the time to understand what all of the acronyms and paperwork is.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that was gonna be my comment is MECC has great classes, that's where I started. The fundamentals program is 8, so you do the 5 core classes and then 3 elective classes. They're remote on the evenings, typically like a couple days a week or a few months.
Okay.
Those 8 classes, and they also have a handbook that you can, then you get a subscription once you finish the classes. And that's great to read through too and learn the background. DEP, I think, has a new commissioner intro video to, and some other things, and then.
Yeah, they're switching things up, but they have some good resources and websites and whatnot. There's always good information.
Absolutely.
Mike, do you have any other questions?
Not right at the moment, thank you.
Does anybody else? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're the chair, the chair. I'm just trying to help you
Anybody
out.
else have any other questions for Jenna?
Jessica.
Do you have any questions?
What, did I just call you?
No, you call me by my last name, it's okay. It
Oh, I am
happens-
so sorry.
It happens all the time,
Wait, where?
but
Just-
it's okay.
Madam Chairman?
Chairperson, oh my goodness. Yes, I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, not at
Yes,
the
you
moment.
are.
I know that, you've explained like the time commitment really well, the training. I know Leah has talked to me at length, so I'm pretty informed, but if I do have anything come up, I will certainly let you know.
I have a kind of-
Yeah, I have another question. We typically have liaisons, land use committee, community preservation act committee,
Yeah.
and the Lake Nipmuc task force, or are there any of those? It is an additional time commitment, you have kids, but if there were, would you be interested in any additional ones?
I guess it would depend on how much more of a time commitment and sort of when, schedule-wise, that would work. I mean, I'd be open to hearing about it, but I can't promise that I would be able to do any of those things past this.
Yeah, it's just good to have communication, like if you cannot do something or make a class, just let us all know, because we all are volunteers and whatnot.
Yep.
But we do want to make sure the appropriate number of people are here, so.
Yeah, of course.
Cross communication between boards as well.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
that way they have a better rounded experience on what is involved in this particular job.
Certainly.
Yep. So I have a kind of a strange question, but so for example, say if you went on a sidewalk and brought like, say your 8-year-old to learn something, is that something that would be allowed? Would that be possible?
No.
I didn't think so.
Suggest-
No.
I don't know, mine are, one's a college graduate, one's in college, so
But
it's
not-
been a long
It's not a
time.
town employee at that point, so
Yeah.
therefore it's a liability issue.
Oh, I realize that, but I mean, like, if they kept them at bay and just taught them things or whatever. I don't know, it was a weird question.
This might be what you were trying to ask a little bit. If you were on a sidewalk and you saw an egregious wetlands bylaw, Isabella, you know what I'm talking about.
Can we not do the what ifs?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's not-
Is that what you were getting at, though?
No, no, I was just,
Okay, you're just looking
like,
for
say if
teachable
somebody
moments.
had, yeah, teachable moments.
Okay, got you.
That's all. I
Oh,
wasn't getting
okay.
anything else. Just-
Sorry.
It was just a
Just
weird
catching
question
your
that just flashed into my brain and that was it. So,
Have we scared you away?
No,
because mine are, got, way past that point.
Susan, do we have any other questions for Ms. Jenna?
Why did I do that? I'm so sorry about that. I don't. Anybody else? Carl? Anybody?
Anybody in the audience?
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Jenna. Wait, can I just do it? Just. It's like I work with somebody that has 2 first names.
Is Terrence here?
Hi, would you like to come up and introduce? Hi,
Hello,
how are you doing tonight?
I am Terrence Moore. Most people call me Terry. For most of my life, anyway. I have a background in public administration and was the director of state and federal commissions, which administered land use planning and environmental permitting in 22% of the state of New Jersey, called the Pinelands National
Yeah.
Reserve. I have left there in 1999 after 20 years and became chief of planning and compliance for the National Park Service in the Northeast region. So So I'm quite familiar with this area of the country because I've done, my office has done a lot of studies related to either the creation of national parks or national heritage areas, including Blackstone, which was a study that I managed, but was completed right after I retired. My life has been public administration and public service. I come here tonight because in those capacities, particularly in New Jersey, where I was administering a very restrictive land use program, I was unable to participate in local matters. It was always a state and federal matter. My wife and I had moved here in December to be closer to our daughter and son-in-law, who have two very small children, and they live in Ashland. So we're within 20 minutes, and that made the trip worthwhile. But I think I'll stop. You have a bio sketch of me, and if you have questions, I'd be happy to respond to them.
What's your street address?
I'm sorry?
Where do you live?
Right around the corner, on Elm Street,
Elm Street.
across from the church.
Okay, center of town.
Oh, so you walked here? My question is,
And I can stay late because I only have a block and a half to walk.
my question is, I read your resume and did a little investigation, shall we say. And I feel like this might be a little below your pay grade. Why are you here?
Well, I think as I said, I'm new to Mendon, obviously, but I've not had the experience of working in a local setting. And I think that's a gap in my background. I really have wanted to do that, either on a planning board in a local municipality in New Jersey, but I couldn't. So my desire is really just to serve in a local capacity and work with local people. And I think when you work with local commission members or planning board members, you learn a lot more about your community and you're participating in the life of the community. That's what I'd like to do.
Okay, so you've had a lot of administrative work, it seems like this. Is that your wheelhouse, or do you have any conservation specialties that you kind of like to do?
Well, I'm a protected areas planner and manager. And I have done consulting work in that capacity here and in other countries. But I'm also a regulator. My background for 20 years was administering some of those stringent wetlands regulations in the United States.
Second to Massachusetts.
Our buffer requirement, it wasn't always a choice of moving closer, it was 300 feet from wetland areas. We did employ a buffer delineation model that under certain circumstances would permit development within that buffer. But the normal regulation was a 300 feet buffer. And there's reason for that. It's not, that probably would not be applicable in a place like Mendon. Our wetlands are very tied to the Clancy Aquifer. So there was a direct relationship between the wetlands and 17 trillion gallon.
Good quality of water.
Excellent quality.
My well pumps 40 gallons per minute, but I'm in bedrock.
Thank you. Those good answers.
Yeah, I have a quick question, on your resume, or summary. I'm a Loeb Fellow, Advanced Environmental Studies, Harvard University School of Design. So, was that heavy background, was that heavy into the science part of it, or more into the design part, like design and resiliency and whatnot, sort of things?
And forgive me, but I'm having the same problem with Mr. Ray, and I'm much older than he is, so my problem may be worse.
Don't make a paycheck.
I'm gonna just ask you to do that again.
Okay, so you went to you're a Loeb Fellow in Advanced Environmental Studies, at the Harvard University Graduate School of Design. So that program, was it heavy into the science, or was it more like into the design of, say, you know, you're doing urban design, or you're doing resiliency for a coastal area, or you're doing this for that sort of thing?
The Loeb Fellowship, which continues today, I was an
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Loeb Fellow.
Yeah.
Is really to take young public administrators and expose them to academic surroundings and very noted professors and practitioners. It doesn't train you in specific.
Okay.
It exposes you to a large array of disciplines and opportunities to apply when you go back to your employment.
Okay.
I'm not a soil scientist to answer the previous question. I know what hydroxylins are, I know what hydrophytes are.
Yeah.
But our plants and the acid waters of the New Jersey pines are very different than yours here, so I'm not someone who would go out and identify this plant and that plant. But I know what they are, and I know the relationship of those two, wetlands protection and the need to protect them, which is evident.
I have a question. You're used to big projects. It sounds like national parks and large-scale projects. Mendon's a small town. Bigger towns, bigger projects have deeper pockets. How can you balance the need of the individual to the protection of the wetlands?
Okay, let me clarify my previous position. In the New Jersey Pinelands, all development, whether it be a single-family dwelling or a large commercial enterprise or industrial activity, require the approval of the Pinelands Commission. In certain areas of the Pinelands, you can't build. It is regionally defined as a preservation area. So my experience is dealing very much every day with individual property owners, individual homeowners. I have had to be in a position certainly of denying permits to young couples and people who have their own dreams. It's not an easy process to do. And I think what you need to always do as an administrator at the local level, at the state level, or at any level, is to understand that you're dealing with human beings. And the human beings have needs, they have their concerns, they have their dreams, and you need to treat them as human beings, not simply as a number on an application that comes before an agency. So my interaction with applicants is no different in my history than what an interaction with an applicant would be at a local level. People came into my office, they submitted applications. Sometimes we had to say no, and lots of times we were able to find ways to say yes. So that's the philosophy that I think we've always operated on. My National Park Service experience wasn't dealing with development applications, it was dealing with studies and whether certain areas were eligible to be designated by Congress as a unit of the National Park System. It was not an individual activity at all. It was a study process and a legislative process.
Anybody else have questions?
I have one. Have you lived in a small town before?
I lived in Chemung, New Jersey, which is Indian Mills, the site of the first Indian reservation in the United States of America, led by Lenape Indians, and a population of 2,600 people.
Okay, so half the size of Mendon currently. How are you fitting in the last 6 months, 7 months to town?
Well, I was mentioning to your colleague here, we moved in December. It's the older house, as you might know, on Elm Street. The previous owner planted a lot of things that now I have to take care of. which I wouldn't have done in the finals because they wouldn't have grown there because of the acidic soils. But we've adapted very well. I think we've met a number of people within the community, and we like living here. Nice place.
So obviously you're retired. Are you retired?
I'm retired, but I do consulting.
So that's what else takes up your day?
Pardon?
What else do you do during the day to keep
Mow the lawn. I go to Shaw's. I see our daughter and her children, and I still have a lot of professional relationships on the computer with this type of thing rather frequently.
do you mind me asking how old your grandchildren are?
My grandchildren are almost 3 and 9 months. Both boys.
Very good. That's it. Welcome to Mendon.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you
Go
for your
Mendon.
interest.
Okay, you did ask a question before, by the way. I'm retired. I can go out in the morning at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Did you do a lot of field work when you were in New Jersey?
Pardon?
Did you do a lot of field work when you were?
I did field work, but in a supervisory. We had 50 staff people, so there were scientists and biologists and ecologists and water hydrologists, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But it was in a supervisory capacity, not, as I said, I'm not a scientist.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I watched you on my computer. It's been very interesting. I was not going to say that it's been the most entertaining thing I've watched, but it has been interesting to see the interchange that you have with applicants. Not similar to the interchange that my commission that I serve has always had with applicants. It kind of goes with the job. But no, I don't really have questions at all. I think I understand your process. Your wetlands permitting regime is not dissimilar to other state or other agencies that I've been involved with.
Any questions for the audience members? Peter?
My only question or kind of comment, we do have a lot of open space protected in Mendon. We have about 1,400, maybe 1,500 acres now. And I think there is some public discourse about the concern for protecting so much land and losing potential revenue tax. And I think public outreach and encouraging people to use our public lands and use the trails. We've had some projects kind of fail, like a disc golf course and those kinds of things. And I'm wondering if you, as a commissioner, would become engaged on positive marketing in some aspects with your kind of park service.
Let me ask a question before I answer that. The question I would have, I guess, is with your publicly owned acreage, and I assume also acreage owned by the nonprofits that you have relationships with. Whether any of those properties have what I would define as a simple management plan in terms of its purpose, its significance, fundamental resources and values of the property, and how it could or should not be used in a public manner. That I am very skilled at. I've done that for many years. I go out into the public realm in every capacity, whether it's a small meeting like this or a large public meeting. So, yeah, I have that capability and interest, actually. I do need to, for the sake of full disclosure, my daughter, who has those 2 very young, wonderful children, is employed by the trustees. she's not in a decision-making capacity, but if indeed something came before this commission from the trustees, I would probably have to abstain,
Trustees of what?
just based
The
on.
trustees,
Reservations.
Reservations.
trustees.
We have one property, Cormier Woods, that's
Yeah, the trustees.
owned by the trustees.
Of Metacomet? Or-
No, the
No, the
trustees of
trustees,
reservations.
it's an organization that buys land for
Yeah,
conservation.
it's a
The big
land
one.
trust.
Yeah, we have our land trusts in Mendon. We mainly work with Metacomet, Land Trust, trustees of reservations. We have the Fish and Wildlife Service, and I'm blanking on the last one, but we do have a couple of land trusts active in Mendon. We are the biggest landowner though, for now.
The town of Mendon is the biggest
Yeah.
landowner in Mendon.
I mean, and my real response to you, and I do it from a point of ignorance here, is there a strategy with regards to those lands?
Yeah, so our protected open space have conservation restrictions or easements. We hold, on the land we own, others hold it, so the trustees hold a reservation or a restriction on one of our properties. Otherwise, Metacomet holds on us, or we co-hold on private land. There's kind of a range of management plans. Some, for example, we have a new agricultural property and that has more stewardship towards that and invasive stewardship. Most of them have baseline documentation reports, so the inventory and starting point. But for example, our CR that we hold below the lake, that forest management plan is expiring. And so it would be great to potentially have some help in getting a new forester out to survey and do those kinds of report updates for us.
My simple response is I love land. But can or can't be done.
Do you do a lot of hiking and whatnot?
Actually went to Comer with my daughter, took me there.
Yeah.
We walked around.
In terms of recusal that you were talking about, one of the necessary things that you would need to do, or any of the other people who are joining the commission, is to undertake the state ethics training, conflict of interest law, open meeting law. As part of that, you would get guidance on how to determine whether you need to recuse yourself and whether something is a conflict of interest. And in this particular case, you'd call up the state ethics hotline. The on-call attorney for that day would give you a call and chat with you and give you specific guidance on whether any particular matter involving the trustees would be something you needed to recuse on, or whether you just needed to notify the select board that there was this relationship that you had. So there is a well-established process for that kind of thing.
Okay, well, thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you very much for,
Good night.
all right, great.
Last but not least.
Yes.
Doesn't Peter get a chance
Peter's
to?
the last one.
Doesn't Peter get a chance to?
We got Peter and
I'm
Liz.
not sure how-
Come on up.
Liz at 9 o'clock.
Yes, yeah,
She's coming up now.
Liz.
Welcome.
I don't think
Welcome.
I don't think I submitted a resume or anything.
That's what you can tell us.
See one.
You can talk to us.
That's part of the reason why you're here.
I
So
think
you
it
tell
is.
us all about you.
I'm learning a lot. So my name is Liz. I go by Liz Crocker. Elizabeth is my formal name. I moved to Mendon about a year ago from East Hampton, Mass. And I was on the Pescomic Conservation Trust in East Hampton. So I kind of thought, oh, I just retired in May. My career was as a clinical social worker in the medical field and trauma field. So I don't have any science background necessarily, but I have definitely a personal interest in. I do a lot of hiking, like land conservation is important to me. Just preserving open space and things like that is just a personal passion of mine. And because I retired in May, I have more time and I just moved to Mendon. So I thought, oh, maybe I should look into what's available in the town so I can kind of get to know what's going on. But I'm not a scientist. I don't know about soils or water conditions, but I'd be willing to do the training that Carl was mentioning. That sounds really interesting. Like I think I'm a quick learner.
What's your street address?
I live at 61 Uxbridge Road. Used to be Hill Street. It's where Uxbridge Road kind of goes up the hill across from Alicante's. There's like 7 houses around it, or 1 of 7.
So you got to deal with the blasting.
Sorry.
You got to put up with the blasting for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that. Well, I would visit a lot, but yeah,
Oh, so you're real recent.
there's a lot of blasting going on. I was like, what is going on over there? Yeah. Yeah, and I walk my dog every single day. I come down, I go up Old Taft and then down Taft and I go up Kinsley. So I'm just kind of getting used to like what's around here, and I've done some hiking in the back behind Kinsley. I don't know the names of all the areas, but we've done a lot of walking in some of the nice conservation areas in town. It's kind of been interesting to get to know that. I like to spend a lot of time outside.
We had, the land use committee did a hike challenge, so there's 10 that you can go and get it, and then you get a sticker at the end. But that's a fun way to kind of get to every property.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the NICC trainings, they do the fundamentals program, and then they also have like day trainings. I just did one on last Saturday, and that's a full day, like wetland plant training. They do wetland soils training.
The outside ones, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
the
in the
field
field, so
Yeah.
those are nice to get experience and.
Yeah, that would be really helpful because I don't have any personal experience with that. I had a roommate once who was a wetland specialist out in East Hampton. Listening to him talk about the importance of protecting the wetlands, I think that's really.
The nice part about this town is there's several boards that are all looking for people too. So, I mean, if this isn't the right fit or it doesn't work out quite as well as it could have, then there's several other boards. So being a participating member in the town is gratifying in its own right.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thought was, and I looked and I just picked Conservation Commission. Oh, that kind of sounds good. But yeah, I don't have any experience with the land per se, but
Do you have
I'd
any?
like to learn.
Sorry.
So,
Do you have any other municipal experience at all? Any boards or volunteer work for
Just
sort of?
Yeah, in East Hampton, I was on the Pascomet Conservation Trust. That's what it was called in that town. It was
Okay.
just a trust. We had conservation properties that we would maintain and do trail maintenance and things like that. And then through my church that I belong to in East Hampton, I was on the vestry, board of the vestry. It's not really a municipal. I didn't really have that much time when I was working and raising kids. Now my kids are grown. I have grandchildren now. I know you're gonna ask me how old they are. And now I'm retired. It's like, gosh, what else should I do? So,
It's funny how that works, huh? When you work and you have no time.
No time.
Now you have all the time. It's like, what can I do to
what am
work?
I supposed to do?
So why do you want, oh wait, you already pretty much explained why you wanted to
Mike wants to ask a
volunteer.
question.
Hmm?
I think Mike wants to ask.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike. I was too busy reading, I see your hand.
You have 3 children?
I do.
Nope.
How old are they?
One is almost 2, and one is just 1 month,
Good.
and there's one
It's young
expected.
kids.
So,
Very good.
Wow.
I have plenty of grandchildren, and I also have 3 lovely great granddaughters.
What?
that's hard to believe.
They started young,
I
right?
was gonna say 15, you know? Kids having kids, so.
You have any questions for us?
No, I learned a lot by listening to you speak with her and the other gentleman. I had a hard time hearing him because his back was to me, but, yeah, no, it's interesting, the experience that some people come forward with and just listening to you speak during the other part of the meetings. Interesting to hear about what you're working on. And,
This was tame today.
wow, oh, yeah.
Oh,
he-
wow.
Carl was saying that sometimes the meeting goes till 10. Wow,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Not later.
I have another question. Could you go into and describe some of the activities that you did when you were serving on the land trust? I know what church boards do, but did you go on site walks? Did you help prepare paperwork for the land trust? What was your involvement in that?
Yeah, sure. I was never personally involved in the paperwork aspect of it, but I definitely went on site walks. We did a lot of fundraising. That's probably different than what you all do. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely the site walks to see the different areas in the town that they wanted to acquire. Trail maintenance we would do, where we would meet up as a group and go and clear the land for, fallen trees and twigs and stuff like that. They would have plant sales, so we would raise money by selling perennials and stuff like that. That's about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That concludes.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Now, just,
Mr. Coffin,
yeah,
would you like to
yeah, that's what
come
I
up?
was gonna say.
Peter Coffin, 3 Old Sawmill Road. Listening to the candidates, I should be stepping down. It's good to have good choices, and there should be some growth in it. So I'm not saying, I guess I would continue to like to serve, but maybe we should have alternate members. In any event, I think I'm suited for this because I had worked as a surveyor, worked as an extension agent for water quality, kind of a failed lawyer, but I was trained to kind of think that way, and land use is tough. And Mendon is tough, and so I'm glad we have good staff because it's not nice having to be tough to your neighbors, right? And then how do you treat people differently? Come on. We treat people differently from the high-tech, expensive subdeveloper versus grandma, but the law should be the same. So it is a challenge. So we're working forward. I think we have a nice balance. We've lost some of the technical skills with Tim, but basically, if you can read a plan, that's half. And the eye, seeing how water flows downhill. It's not too much. So
There's an entire MACC class on how to read a plan, so that's very easy to pick up.
There you go. So I'll leave it at that, but also the land use committee, because that's unfortunately the only way you can be on the committee is through being on a committee. I think that committee should probably expand to tap skills. So, but this is for the selectmen to decide, right? Are we going to vote on, I don't know the process, but.
Carl knows.
Any
Hold on.
questions?
I have
I'm sorry.
questions.
Good.
Questions?
Okay, good.
How many years have you been a conservation agent?
I don't know, too long. Not an agent, commissioner, since
1993 here.
93.
Oh my God, that's when I graduated from high school.
32 years.
85 here.
Do you still find it enjoyable?
It is more enjoyable with good staff. It was a little stressful there. And,
I can relate to that.
but I also feel it's important
new person, here's some
to
papers.
stand up for
What?
wetlands. So we've made great strides. So I'm feeling gratified.
Thank you.
One of the things I appreciate is your knowledge of construction techniques. Could you talk about your background in that? Have you done house building or development projects and things?
Yeah, I worked 3 years for the developer. Prime Properties in Hopkins, building stone walls beautifully.
Which one?
And then developers, he was retired AT&T. One of the partners made money down in Mashpee. They're just people like us, right, with money and want to build land. And so they do what the laws require. They tried to get cluster development in Douglas, and that's why they hired me. Douglas wasn't having anything to do with cluster development in '87. If a developer wants something, it must be bad. So I learned the developer trick with the Concom was talk with hire your person, say where you want the road, and then be generous everywhere except that one spot that's critical for the road, you know, and try to give, so it's a game.
Yeah.
And then which board you go to first and bada bada boom. But
Peter, which team do you fall on? Land team developer or team conservation?
Conservation, but I came with also affordable housing. We need housing and historic housing, so. And Mendon is spoiled with large lot. This is snob zoning, 1.5 acres. But it's because we collectively chose not to have city urban uses, no sewer, no water. But that is not going to keep, you know, when I came here, the land on North Ave, oh, that'll never be developed. That's a high groundwater table. What's there now? So technology will change and you can't depend on that. So, yeah.
Is that team developer or team
No,
conservation?
team smart use, smart growth.
Smart road.
And
Nothing
the
wrong with
rural
development,
character,
as long as
how
it's
do
done
you,
right.
so it should be clustered, basically. So, but
So we
who's gonna
save
have
space.
the density in their backyard? And right now, it's, everyone can have an ADU. I'm loving that. I'm gonna be a developer, I think. I'm gonna build some affordable housing units.
Yeah.
Come, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I love George Street, there was an old barn. And so I'm squeezed, I gotta have setback from the road 60 feet. I gotta be 100 feet, that ain't gonna happen. I gotta be 50 feet. That's where the historic barn was. So I might be back. Other questions, Carl?
Nope, I'm all set.
Anybody
Mike, do you
else?
have any questions for the
No,
applicant?
I'd like to make a statement.
Okay.
Peter's been around almost as long as I have been. I want to thank Peter for his due diligence. We might not always agree, but we do agree to disagree. And I've enjoyed working with him, sitting next to him for 30, going on 33 years. And I would like to continue doing that.
Well, we used to have a tradition after work, when I first came. We didn't say that afterwards. We were all men and
Let's go, martinis.
Spicy
I think it's better.
I like martinis.
You make a good thing, yeah?
Excuse
You
me?
make a
The
good
reason you
thing.
can't go anymore is because there's no women.
No, it's just evolved. No, do you don't go out for drinks?
You can't be
I don't know.
At our age,
Fraternizing, having a beverage is called fraternizing.
And we
Okay,
used to have sidewalks on Sunday mornings. So there's different traditions and when, because there is the bonding sidewalks. You know, it's, but I'll leave it at that.
Hey, you know, when you crawled out of the woods that day down Northbridge Street, that was great.
surprise.
That was great.
That was classic, good cop, bad cop.
That was really
It was really good. Yeah.
So moving on, item number 8.
I think what we have to do is let these people go home if they want to go home. And,
No. Go back
No?
to the email. Go back to the email that I sent out. We've done steps 1 and 2. We still have steps 3 and 4 to go.
Yep.
Okay.
And before we got to step 3, which is the board discussing the candidates, I would want to get an affirmative statement from all 4 candidates, like we just heard from Peter, that after going through our grueling interview process, yeah, they really are interested in moving forward and having us discuss them and then having an interview with the select board.
I thought you were either going to vote on the candidates you wanted to vote on or write a list of who you were interested in having. Are they having additional interviews with the select board?
What will happen is we will be making a recommendation or not making a recommendation to the select board on the day that the select board just makes their decision on who to appoint. Yes, they would be having an interviews directly if they so choose.
So what's our next step right now?
Well, as I said, I want to make sure we haven't scared off any of the other 3 candidates.
Terry
And then
already left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. then I expect we would be, he would be continuing.
Well, we assume you're still interested, right? Keep your habit, so.
So the next step would be to have an open discussion among the board members who aren't Peter as to what we feel the strengths and weaknesses of the different candidates are.
And I should be out of
It's
the room.
7:30 p.m.
No, you should be in the audience.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about.
This is not a church board. This is an open meeting. We're subject to the open meeting law and our deliberations are held in public. Discussing future candidates is not one of the exempt purposes for closing the meeting and going into executive session.
Well, I'd
So-
like to start by saying each candidate that we've talked to, each one brings a different set of, for lack of a better term, skills to the table. And each one of those sets of skills would be an asset to the present board.
How would you describe those?
What's that?
For each of the four candidates, what would you say their strengths are for serving on a commission?
Well, we have someone here that's, again, not to sound prejudiced, someone that's young, a school teacher, obviously. She's got brains. She has patience if she's a school teacher. We have a mature applicant here who was, I believe, in the nursing/medical industry, so she would definitely have skills on how to deal with people and their emotions that the gentleman brought up. He brought up some very good points which is what we try to do, to make sure we treat anybody that comes before us as human beings, as taxpayers, as people. I personally believe, and I've been on this board close to 40 years, that our job is to, yes, protect the wetlands, yes, protect the wildlife that lives in the wetland, water quality. But equally, our job is to educate the taxpayers, or the future taxpayers, the future residents, or the future residents of this town, and to look at it with an open and unbiased view when we make decisions. So, as far as I'm concerned, any one of the four applicants would fit nicely in this group of people. So with that being said, I think I'm willing to let the selectmen take the next step and interview them and see what they think. Just
Okay.
only one member.
What do other people think before I summarize?
I have one question. Has anybody spoken to the selectmen yet?
Yes. I have had conversations with the chair of the select board about, and I have worked with him and the town administrator in crafting this interview process.
Okay.
So you have a specific question about?
No, I just didn't know if the wishes of the applicants were conveyed to the select board.
All applicants and Peter saying he wanted to be reappointed, that all went through the executive assistant for the select board.
Okay.
So she posted the openings.
Okay.
Oh, right.
So they relay the candidates back to us.
The expectation of the select board is that rather than them having the four interviews coming in cold with reading resumes, either we would be recommending one or two candidates, or we will be preparing a summary list of each of the individual candidates' potential strengths, which would include the comments that Mike just made. Do other commissioners have input on their feelings about the 4 different candidates.
I thought all of them were great. I like I'm always gonna center on things that we need, like having somebody who has pond experience, because all of us scratch our head constantly. I think you would be very dedicated. I think that I can see you're a very nurturing person, and that's great. Terrence had a lot of experience. I mean, he planned national parks.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, pretty impressive.
Peter is great to have on the board. He has a lot of skills. So too many to name. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah. So I don't know.
What the selectmen doing?
Well, we have to fill 2 spots, right? So,
Yes. Okay, here is my summary of the 4 candidates, and I'll go in the order that we receive their applications rather than the order we interviewed them, because that's what my notes are. Peter Coffin has been a commissioner since 1993. His 32 years is a whole lot of institutional memory, and he and Mike are quite frequently saying, oh yeah, I remember what happened at that particular site 20 years ago. And they're able to provide that important perspective. He is also a strong ability to present a defense of the conservation aspects of a particular parcel, and he will fight to against. He will fight for preserving the goals of the Wetland Protections Act. Jessica Genna, her background is as a science teacher and has worked at an environmental consulting company. She's been in town for several years and is interested in getting involved in town politics, town boards. Terry Moore is coming from a very long and distinguished career in New Jersey state and federal activities, environmental concerns and town planning. He's recently moved into town to be closer with his family, and would be a quick study for working on terms of the regulatory paperwork and how slowly the state government would be working on things with us. And finally, Liz Crocker is also recently retired from social work, and has her background is working on a church board and on the a land trust in, I believe you said it was East Hampton. Yeah. And so there she has been on the other side of conservation activities. So if you look at the Conservation Commission, part of our work is permitting and enforcement. The other part is conservation and open space. She would be coming to us and have a strong background in how we would be better able to work with Metacomet and other land trusts on future conservation restrictions, or going with us on site walks for existing CRs. So I will look at the people in the audience who are there. Do you think that's a fair characterization of what your interview process was? Okay. Any further questions about or people comments on the strengths of the different candidates? If we're done with that, then we go to section 4 of the interview process, and the chair will now entertain one of 2 motions. The first one is to recommend a specific candidate by name for the select board to appoint, or to authorize the writing of an evaluation of the strengths of each candidate that would be passed along to the select board for them to guide them in their interview process and their deliberations.
Now, Carl, would that apply for somebody that wants to come back on, like Peter as well?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
at this
I didn't-
point, we would either we can propose, we can recommend 2 candidates, we can recommend 0 candidates, or we can recommend 1 candidate and say, here's the strengths of that we think you can use to fill the other slot. So at this point, as chair, you should sit back and wait for someone to make a motion, one of those 3 motions.
I make a motion that the select board will probably be able to make a better and quicker decision than us here. I'm just getting the feeling. So that is my motion, that we recommend the select board to appoint people, because all of them are very good candidates.
Would you rather make a motion that says we give an evaluation and submit it to the select board for
Sure.
their consideration?
Let's make an evaluation of the candidates that are here tonight and send it to the select board for them to pick.
And okay, and who would you ask to write that recommendation in writing?
I feel like you just did a really good job.
Which is why I wanted to get feedback from the interview candidates to make sure that I was correctly.
That's delegation 101, right there.
Yeah.
Should have had my note taker recording on.
Okay, so I will second the motion to have Carl write an evaluation of the strengths of each candidates to be passed along to the select board to guide them in their deliberations at a future meeting.
Okay, roll call.
Is there a second?
Excellent.
Actually, I seconded it. Never mind. Any further discussion?
Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think Peter brought up an excellent point of order, that maybe we should think about having the selectmen appoint alternate members. It is possible to.
It's not possible. The Wetlands Protection Act does not allow that the way it does for like zoning board, CBA alternates.
You can have associate members for things like trail work or different committees that you want to have under the board, but you can't have alternate voting members because you can only have 7 under the act. So once you get to 9 or more, it doesn't quite work.
But alternate members could maybe help like on open space committee and trails and all sorts of good stuff.
Associate member, yeah.
Associate.
And from my understanding, if you're not participating in 2 or more meetings, you're not supposed to be a voting member in the beginning anyways. That if you miss 2 meetings, then you technically can't vote on.
You're still at the 7 vote from.
We adopted the Latham or Murray or whatever rule last fall town meeting, so there is a path, there is a clearly defined path for managing that. But that's besides the point. One of the other things that the select board I expect will be doing is, in addition to interviewing you as candidates, they will also be looking at their list of all of the other committee openings that no one has volunteered for and maybe having discussions with you on those possibilities as well. So even if they choose not to have you on this particular one, they would say, but you'd be great for this other committee, and they would be able to have that conversation with you.
That's good. Okay, we had a second, so.
Yes, I seconded it.
Yeah, so what if we wanted to send the candidates, except for the one that wants to re-up, to the select board and then vote on re-upping?
I'll make a motion.
Re-upping Peter.
We already have a motion on the, we already have a motion seconded on the floor, and it needs to be dealt with before we have another motion.
Gotcha.
So if you want to do anything else, you have to vote down the motion on the floor to have me recommend.
Right, so you have to call a roll call now.
Yeah, okay, roll call
Is the discussion over?
what we
Susan,
just.
this is your chance to discuss why you want to vote this down and instead have us do something else.
Yeah.
You first got to declare that discussion is over, then you take the roll call.
Okay. So,
Any
what is
further
keep
discussion?
speaking?
That's my fault.
Oh.
Any further discussion?
Yeah. Any further discussion from anybody?
Any from the audience?
They're not voting.
Okay, then I think we take a roll call.
All right, let's take a roll call.
Mike Mandelia, nay.
We're going this way, Leah, yay.
Susan, nay.
Abstain.
Carl, yes.
Carl. Okay.
So what is that?
So it's a tie and it loses.
No, tie, the chair breaks tie.
No,
Cheers.
Oh, that's true.
please,
So-
please, Chair, tally what the vote tally is.
It's 2-2 with Bob abstaining.
Okay, so that is a tie. So the
Me
motion-
personally, Carol,
Pardon?
how do I take this and turn it into, instead of one person's opinion, we all get to send our opinion of our assessment of the candidates to the select board?
Why can't they each send an email to the executive assistant if they want to?
You would make an amendment. I would amend it.
That'll
For
work.
point of order, we have to finish this activity on this motion, and then questions can be asked, and then another motion can be brought up.
Or you can amend it with there's a motion on the table, and then it's appropriate to make an amendment.
It failed.
This
Okay.
motion failed. We're now ready to have someone make another motion that we can discuss.
Okay, I'll make a motion to recommend to the selectmen that we appoint Peter for another term, and then leave it up to the selectmen to evaluate the 3 applicants to appoint to the board.
I'll second that. It's been seconded, roll call.
It's not giving me what I want.
Ask for more discussion.
Oh, discussion, please. I told you, we're
I
going
would,
over
I
this
would
wrong
like
rules.
to add language to that says, upon written summarization from the board, from members of the board. So, in my opinion, we shall tell the selectmen what we think the candidates' strengths and weaknesses are, so that way there they can have a 7-person informed decision on how they can proceed.
I would vote for that.
I mean, I think that's fine, however, but Carl had summarized what went on here with our interviews and their responses and whatnot and our questions. So I don't think that he's being biased in any way. I think he's just
No, that's
summarizing
fine.
what's going on.
I mean, you guys can do what you want, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do.
I mean, I'd be happy to write something too, but I'm just,
I believe the motion on the floor is to recommend Peter for another term, and then leave it up to the selectmen to decide with our input on the 3 new applications.
I believe that Bob is making a friendly amendment that the recommendations may come from whichever board members are interested in writing a written recommendation, and I will second that.
Yeah, I'll yeah.
Hold
I'm a yay
on,
that.
hold on. That's not the motion I made. The motion, we got to vote on the motion I made,
Bob is making an amendment to your motion.
and we got to vote on allowing that amendment.
That's
Yes.
right. The vote will be on the amendment.
Sorry.
Oh, so we're voting for Peter if we say yes for this, but with the amendment.
No.
Now you're voting on Bob's amendment
Okay.
to,
Mike's
Can
motion,
we
which
state
is-
what's being voted on?
Bob made an amendment to also
To his-
submit Carl's summary and the opportunity for individual commissioners to also submit their own
For 4 candidates,
opinion.
for the 4
No,
For
this
3
is
of them.
on the motion for Peter
Oh, okay.
and one other opening. Bob wants to make sure he can submit his own opinion if he wants to.
I'll second that.
Carl already seconded.
All right, roll call vote.
Bye-bye.
Sue, aye.
I'm abstaining.
Mike Mandelia, aye.
Carl, yes.
So the amendment passes, now on to the The final vote.
So, as it stands, now we're voting on it. The new motion is to recommend Peter to the selectmen and let the selectmen review the comments given to them from the board on the remaining 3 applicants. Is that how everybody understands it?
Correct.
Okay.
Unless discussion is needed.
Any more discussion?
I'm good.
Anyone? Carl?
I'm fine.
All right, so I second the,
No, I was just
Roll
doing
call.
oh, roll call. Okay. Roll call. Al-
Bye-bye.
Susan, aye.
We abstain.
Mike Mandelia, aye.
Carl, no. Motion passes.
The motion passes.
Wait, what did we just vote on? I know. You guys are complicating a ham sandwich here.
She works for the town.
But she writes the proposed motions. so.
Right,
I wasn't voting against you, I would like everyone to get a fair shake.
Yeah.
And just have the select board pick it. I think that's the best thing, easiest thing.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that.
Well, that's because you get a vote too. That's a good thing.
All right, so moving on. It is close to 10.
No, it's not.
9.
What
But
time
by the
zone
time
are
we
you
leave,
in?
it will be.
Thank you, Sarah.
That's okay though.
Thank you for your dedication.
Thank you very
to
much.
staying.
Welcome to town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
You
luck.
do try to have fun.
Applicants, thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Martinez?
Yeah, is it time for martinis?
Works tomorrow, but I don't.
If you go to New England Steak and Seafood, ask for a sangria, a white sangria. You will only be able to
I like
have one.
red. All right, so we expect this is here. All right. Instead of talking about languages.
Okay, let's speed through this.
All right, so we have
Let's get this into high gear, chairwoman, chairperson.
32 Blackstone Street. This is just a discussion, so. The new foundation owner, Justin Harshaw, opened expired permit 218-0765, enforcement order issued June 12, 2025. Review initial site assessment prepared by Goddard Consulting on July 17, 2025. Staff comments.
Yeah,
Alright.
so that's the background, but the
Yeah.
initial site assessment was completed by Goddard. They did the soil, augers around the foundation, and it didn't indicate wetland soils, so
Yeah.
Carl granted permission to resume construction on the barn. The wetlands weren't delineated, so you
So
don't
wait a
have the
minute.
buffer zone, but it doesn't, they're allowed to build in the buffer zone because it is a farm. I'm going out on Monday to work with Goddard and Justin on the next steps for addressing the rest of the enforcement order. But the barn was allowed to resume construction.
It's in the buffer zone, or is it? It doesn't matter.
It's in the
They're allowed
allowed
to
not in the
do that.
wetlands.
But does he have a farm plan?
He he's in chapter 61A, it's a farm, a functioning farm, he doesn't need a farm plan for that specific exemption. There are different levels of exemptions. Farm plan is more so on when you're altering water, building ponds and.
So I can go home and build a
You don't have a
barn.
commercial, or you do have.
He doesn't have a farm. He has
Is
like.
your land under
some goats.
61A?
I don't have 5 acres.
Wow. He doesn't, so 61A is a definition of agriculture. But more importantly, we would fight him perhaps if he wants to do not the detention pond or the wetland and wants to have a pond. That would require
Well, he didn't do culverts.
a plan.
He
of
did do
some
a
sort.
replication, and he built a pond.
Right, so there are the
That's
issues
what
we're
the
dealing
rest of the
with.
enforcement order is on, so they still have to work through that, but because construction was stopped on the barn, the commission voted that if it wasn't found in the wetland, the chair could give approval to resume construction. That was the vote last time.
And you're working with him on the other issues. You'll be meeting-
Starting on Monday, we're gonna start out there, yeah.
Sounds good. So we don't need it to do any action.
Doesn't sound like it, no. Excellent. Number 9, 23 Cape Road Restoration Plan, review final restoration plan submitted by the applicant.
Yeah, that's also in the packet. I was out for the pre-construction meeting a week and a half ago, with the Shane and the applicant's wetland consultant and the construction team. We went over the northern area that's gonna be excavated for the pool and the sediments removed. And we went over the southern area that's gonna have hand removal only. So the northern area is gonna have one of the small skidders or excavators. It's dry up there, they should be fine. The southern portion is pretty wet, so they are going in with hand shovels. We also reviewed erosion controls areas. The construction, or the wetland scientist was away this week, so they're starting on Monday, work, and I'll go out intermittently. Dishings, we set up one major checkpoint that Dishing wants to come out for, and then at the end, we'll have the commission come out for the restoration area. It's likely that'll also be around the same time that they're submitting the certificate of compliance, so we're reviewing the rest of the site at the same time.
Did things hold up? Was I reading somewhere that there were a few issues when I was reading through the notes, or were those just older ones that still needed to be?
Dishang's most recent report was from the 11th, so it is a little dated. I was out with Jeff Walsh, the planning board engineer, yesterday. There are still some things that need to be explored. The main outfall discharge point is running water all the time. Both Dishang and Jeff Walsh were not quite sure why it's running water. So Dupree, the applicant's engineer, is gonna have to do some more investigation. That outflow is not functioning potentially as intended. There are standing water out the outflow all the time. It's been standing water since about November. And the water is standing, spreading out, and then going down. To the left, there is some erosion there that's gonna either need to be filter fabric and riprap if that's the intent for the water to go skew that way. But it seems that the water is intended to go straight out to that old abandoned head wall. My concern there is that drop is about 4 feet. You're gonna have a scour pool, so I don't quite know why it's designed that way, but that's for Dupree to look at.
And Dishang, does he have a recommendation, or he's looking for them to say?
Dishang had previously addressed the erosion by having a filter fabric and riprap, but that all got eroded in the storms last week, so it's all.
That's what I was talking about,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Good look.
since I was going out with Jeff yesterday and the town planner, I didn't want Dishang to have that put up again because it already got undermined. As soon as, because that northern swale is now filled in, so as soon as that additional discharge went into the system, the
Wasn't
filter
gonna work in the
fabric
first
got undermined
place,
immediately. So my understanding is the intent is for the stormwater to go out to the abandoned head wall. Dupree is gonna have to explore if there are abandoned underground pipes below that outfall, so if we can have because it's not draining, so if they can tie into that, that may be the easiest way to get it out. That's not really for the viewers to come up with the solution.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want a certificate of compliance with that much standing water,
No.
so.
But back to the issue of cleaning out the old silt. I've never experienced that. And that's gotta be a heck of a job digging out by hand an unspecified amount.
No, it is
Who makes
specified.
that?
We
Well,
targeted,
who makes the call?
that's what me and Dishang and the wetland scientist went out and did. We flagged the whole area,
Okay.
and they have to go down about a foot to get all the sediment out.
They did soil
Yeah,
Down
it's
samples.
right up.
about a foot.
Peter, they did soil samples. They took the auger and got
Yeah.
to virgin soil.
Right, in that one spot. But
No, they
No, it's
did it
3
about
spots.
15.
Okay, and was it a varied?
It
So it's about a
varies,
foot,
that's-
so each,
But you
that
can
whole
tell
thing is
when you
gonna
get
be,
to,
I'm just saying, it's under whose supervision?
the
Because,
professional wetland scientist for the applicant is going to be out there the entire time.
okay, that's the answer to my question. Okay, thank you.
Dan Wells has done work as a wetland scientist for the commission before, and so I'm confident in his ability to monitor the activity.
Okay.
Is there a, for lack of a better term, an as-built where they did the 15 or so?
There is. If you look back in the insurance paperwork,
If you're on, the page for LEC on this one, that depicts the northern areas where it says the 3,200 square feet. Yeah, so turn back around.
Right, it's got the area, but he's asking for the actual test holes.
Yeah, I want,
So
would be
that,
nice to see the,
the Shane's report, I don't have printed, it's in SharePoint, I can print it out now, but that
can you
was,
just pull it up and come on? Yeah, Deshane did a really nice job at,
yeah, I'd like to see it.
I
Yeah,
can't
he
print
did.
from my computer, unfortunately.
I can get into the phones.
I can get into the file, but I can't print it, so.
So good, we're making progress, and the mystery about the water is still, that's up to Dupree to come up with answers, huh? Mystery water.
Well, yeah, we shouldn't issue anything until that's squared away.
Well, we're liking the idea of the restoration plan, so we're making progress, but we don't need to vote on anything, right?
Making progress, but if that one section isn't shored up, then anything they do is going
Sometimes
to
you need
be.
2 steps forward, 1 step backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go on to item 10, or?
so Deshane's report was from June 25th. And he goes through the areas he looked at. And then he has the list of each sample
Here's your holes.
Location he looked at and what he observed.
Well, it's a lot
How many
better than
were
it
there?
was.
10, 11? I seen at least 10.
So, yeah, 10 in each spot.
So there may be flags out there, right?
Yeah, he did, he put
Any
stakes
toll.
with a flag, yes.
So you can see here that it went kind of around this area, the main ones. And then,
That's kind of where we looked at before, Peter. Remember when we were out there and that water was yucky and silty and
That goes to the south side, it's no problematic.
Mike, you see on the slides, area number 3 was 3 feet, 10 inches of, area 3 of 3 was 10 inches of felt, and then 6 inches on 2 of 5,
I can't, what's the blue one say?
3 of 10.
3 to 10.
I
Yeah,
think
3
it
to
says-
10, area B.
It looks like it says 0, I could be wrong.
Looks like 3 to 10.
Yeah,
Area
or
B.
5 to 10?
3 of 10.
Is it 5 to 10?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is
I don't know if it
3-10, and I can't tell what the other one
I don't know what the thing after that
I think
says.
that's area 3, stake number 10.
Oh, down here it says area B, though, on the picture.
Okay, can we move on?
Yeah, see ABC.
Zoom this up a little bit.
I think she's printing out the report from us.
it doesn't like the last page. Come on, pictures.
Okay.
So we're just going over things tonight, Isabella, with this one? Kind of seeing where the progress is.
Yeah, I do. The board voted that I could give the authority prior to me leaving on vacation.
Okay,
So the restoration plan was approved.
that's good.
Are you satisfied, Mike? Can you go?
No, I'm not satisfied, it's not really what I'm looking for, that's fine, I'm not gonna hold it up anymore. But basically, so that everybody understands what I was looking for. We did 15 holes out there,
Or you want them located?
on here, with a little number that says there's, that way there, you
You
can,
can see visually, there's the cheaper, yeah.
which you could see, basically the contour that was there before. But if it's silt that washed in, there was nothing there
Right, but it
before.
takes time and materials to pick up the location of the stakes.
I think that was the conversation previously, that the applicant didn't want to spend time surveying the
Stakes.
auger poles to put them on a plan, because then they had to have the survey crew come out.
Right, but,
If both the applicant's wetland scientist and Dishing agreed.
right, and you could have drawn that plan without having a survey, plus or minus within 5 feet, just a.
They GPS the work areas, so that's based on the soils that are out there, those
Yeah,
pink
you work with-
outlines.
Doesn't have to be precise. It sounds good. You're doing, we'll be making progress.
On the ground, Mike, there are stakes that give you the depths.
Okay.
Susan, can we go to the next one?
Yes,
If we're ready, I don't
Does
know.
everyone have anything else they need from this report or whatnot? Any comments or anything? I read it like a while ago, but, okay. Okay, so, still this notice of- Okay, number 10, 2 Nickmuck Drive, DP 218-0837, review activity has occurred outside the limit of work approved with the permit.
Okay, Isabella, what you
And
got for us?
Mike Dean submitted, an update letter. They intend to submit in the next 2 to 3 weeks, so they have 3 weeks to get the application in for legal ad to be in the second meeting in August. They state that no work has occurred and there is some vegetation growing back in the area that was cut. So this was the area that was cut and it does appear.
So they fulfilled the requirement that we were asking of them to get back to us.
They submitted, they told us today that they're 2 to 3 weeks.
Right, they made movement in some way to let us know what was going on.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Am I wrong? Is there also concern with like further down, like where the old,
Stairs?
no, the other,
Merry-go-round, where
towards,
the merry-go-round was.
the merry-go-round is, yes. Because that wasn't part of the original notice of intent, if I'm correct.
That's where the excavator is now, yes.
Right, yes.
They're gonna have to submit the new NOI.
For
Would include that area.
Okay. Works for me.
Well,
At
we'll
least
see.
they're doing something, so.
I think the second meeting in August is a hard date because we've been dealing with this for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think we would,
I would like to phrase it in the deadline. I'd like to make sure that they submit the NOI before the deadline for our second meeting in August. So Isabella, can you say what the specific date is that they have to get an NOI in as per?
I talked with Mike about it. It's the Thursday, 2 weeks before.
Okay, and what, can you look on the calendar and say what date that is?
August 14th.
Okay, my feeling and is that if we do not get an NOI application by the 14th, that we will issue an enforcement order at our second meeting in August, which will, at that meeting, we will discuss what goes in the enforcement order to encourage them to get NOI submitted.
yeah, this is taking so much time. We didn't been done already. These people have been dragging their feet.
All right, anybody else have anything to say about this one?
So just to make specific, that I would ask Isabella to notify the applicant that if they do not make an NOI submission by the deadline, that we will be discussing an enforcement order.
I told him he would have issued one today if we didn't get an update, so I think he's aware.
And you just reinforce that to make sure that they get the document submitted.
I'm gonna put it in writing so they're not surprised.
It's in the meeting minute, it's in the meeting right now, so
Trust me,
it's being
no
recorded.
app surprise. They always do.
Oh, we all done with that one? Anybody else? Anything? We already did the one. Yep, we did. Any updates for chair, conservation agent, task force?
The chair's report, or chair in absentia, chair on location, just that to take notice of the superseding order by the DEP about 134 North Avenue. Isabella, have you gotten a response from town council as to whether they've heard anything further?
No, she's away.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
33, not 134.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wrong number. Yep.
That was the other one.
Oh, really? I haven't heard from them.
They're almost done with DEP, aren't they? At least working things out. You know?
I haven't seen any activity at all. It's like a ghost town.
I spoke with someone at DEP. They told me that negotiations on that site are still ongoing and therefore they will not comment.
Okay.
So if there's anybody saying that negotiations are almost complete, they're not coming from the state office.
I feel like somebody might have said that to me. It might have been about something else. I don't know, but that's okay. It's not on our docket. That's a good thing. We have to deal with it.
It will go back on our docket once the state is done and we review the state's arrangement with the applicant, and we will decide if we wish to take further action on the property.
Okay.
Better get my no trespassing signs up.
I have no update from the land use committee. But that's okay, sometimes.
Mine on 31 North Bridge, the one that the board voted to recommend to DEP. Judy Schmitz, the section chief, they got a new general counsel who they haven't had the opportunity to meet and talk about it, so they haven't decided after, they have to meet sometime in the next week or so, and then they'll decide if they want to take the enforcement matter from us. If they think that they can help guide us through the process, they'll kick it back at us.
So they're talking to you directly?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I know her. She's very, very good.
Not that many other updates. I just want to make sure the board is all aware of the Mass Ready Act, the environmental law bill.
Yep, I saw
I
that.
sent out the MACC blast, which has some of their comments. The bill is $3 billion for conservation purposes in various ways, all great things. However, there are a ton of outside sections for Wetland Protection Act changes. Some of them are good. For example, public hearing notices could be posted locally, determined by the select board, but I would envision that as a public hearing page on the town clerk site. And in my opinion, $150 going to the newspaper doesn't serve anyone. No one's getting the paper. And so I think that's a benefit. Some other benefits are administrative approvals for that either staff or the commissioner can do for hazard trees, trail maintenance, invasive species removal. All of those at this time require notice of intent. So those are positive changes. Some concerning changes are about exempting municipal culverts from review. There would be some sort of general permit through DEP, so there would be no local review for municipal culverts. There would be changes for priority housing. They haven't defined priority housing. Changes in legal abutter notices and timeframes under the act. And then the biggest change would be appeals. Appeals of certain projects, which includes priority housing, nature-based solutions, and a couple of other ones. Appeals would go straight to Superior Court, and buffer zone appeals would go to Superior Court rather than to DEP. That would potentially cost the town money, select board authorization for town council. It would also cost the butters, either a direct abutter or 10 citizens of the town. If they decide to appeal something, they don't have the benefit of it going to DEP, where it doesn't have that cost of having to have a lawyer represent them. The other side of that is some excessive appeals for NIMBYism or, things that don't really center on the act, so it might reduce some people's quick appeals that maybe shouldn't be appealed, but some concerns either way. So comments, this is a very quick comment period. It's due on Wednesday. I didn't have anything prepared for the board to vote on, so we can't do anything as a commission, but I'm submitting my own comments. Each commissioner can submit or copy MACC's comments, either to our state reps or to the joint committee. The concern is that once this public comment period is closed, there will be no additional opportunity to comment on the Wetland Protection Act changes. So, yeah.
So did you type up the?
It's in the email.
I'm reading the email. But I have a quick question. Did you type up the good, bad, and the ugly in this email? Or did that?
From MACC?
Yeah.
No, I did not write that.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
I attended the seminar that MACC held on this last Thursday. They're having another one tomorrow. My feeling about what's going on, the governor is pushing for the $3 billion bond bill for emergency relief for affordable housing and stormwater issues. Because there's a very large amount of money attached to this, various special interests have come along and slipped in their pet amendments to the bill. Some of those bills are going to be very detrimental to Mendon's ability to have local control over our own wetlands and our ability to enforce measures using our own Mendon Wetlands Protection Bylaw. MACC's last recommendation that I saw earlier this week is that the committee should rip out the parts involving the WPA because they're not really related to the bond money. It's unlikely that's going to happen, however. So I would encourage you to check your email over the week. The deadline for next week is when the bill is read out of committee. This is being done on an emergency basis because it's something the governor's pushing. And unless you decide to make a comment in your official, you can't say the Mendon Conservation Commission said this, but you can write a letter saying, I am a member of the Mendon Conservation Commission and I feel that you should take the following action on this bill, blah, 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 blah. And I will be doing that myself.
All right, sounds good, thank you. Review and approve minutes for June 12th and 26th, 2025.
I only have June 12th, sorry.
Oh, okay. I did read them and they look good to me. Very thorough.
Yeah, thank you.
Fine.
I move to accept the minutes for June 12th, 2023.
Second.
25, I'm sorry, 2025.
Any discussion? Any discussion? I don't have any. All right. We have to vote on that, right? Roll call. Oh, roll call vote. Okay, roll call vote.
Well, I.
Sue, aye.
Leah,
Peter, aye. Mike Mandelli, aye.
Carl, I.
Motion passes unanimously. Good, and number 14, good welfare for commission. Anyone have anything? I think martinis would be nice.
15,
Okay.
15.
Number 4. So nobody has anything for good and welfare commission?
Oh, motion to adjourn. You can make that one.
Yeah, I don't think we have any items not anticipated, so.
Second?
Third?
So Peter made a motion to
I made a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Leah seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Carl Hummel, yes.
I don't know.
Before you turn off